フロアボス、魔法ダメージがどこにもない。剣で一撃ってこと？そんな人間が
いるぜ。俺の知る限り、たった一人な。
The Banished 𝐒𝐻𝐽𝐸𝐵 episode 7. Listen here, my friends. If you clicked on this video, hey, do it the like. You know, that would definitely help me out. I really need it, actually. So that'd be pretty cool. But here's the thing. I realized I'm a pretty harsh reviewer when it comes to a lot of these seasonal and weekly shows. But I was really thinking as I was watching this episode that I frankly really think was a waste of time. I think this episode could not exist, and the show, like, you liking or disliking it without this episode wouldn't change. And I think that because really we opened up the same way that we ended, right? We have the white-haired girl, 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐽𝐸, and she is nursing this Olivia girl back to health. And basically this Olivia girl doesn't listen and beams herself back to the dungeon. They use the teleportation. When I say they, I mean the party that we're representing. They beam themselves to the dungeon. And then we end off with them reuniting with Olivia, fighting monsters. That's all that happened this episode. Yes, we had a little flashback with Olivia's mom or something like that because, you know, 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐽𝐸 kissed her on the forehead and she's like, oh, mama. And the girl obviously wants to get revenge. I don't know what any of it really has any bearing or like, let me use a better word. I don't know why any of it really matters to me or you or Alec, which is our MC as a character. I don't know why any of this really matters. It's just story fodder. And what I mean by that is it's just time filling. And the reason that I was like, okay, I'm really harsh on some of these shows, and it's really because these studios and these storyboards and these directors, they have 12 episodes. That's why I'm so harsh. These shows get 12 episodes. They get 12 episodes to potentially make this very short show one of our favorites or just another forgettable show that happened to fill some ratings, that happened to fill some time, and maybe, just maybe if they're lucky, they gained a few more fans to go and buy their books. And it gets so frustrating when you're watching these shows because you know that they're just created for a small subset of their fans who just want to see their light novel or thing that they read come to life. And then they want to get maybe 10% of the people who watch this show to go and buy the book, right? To go and subscribe to Tapitoon or to some application to read the manga or read the light novel, or to get them into a physical store into Japan and buy their $10, $13, $15 book. And maybe they get one more person who's going to be a customer. And you can really feel it with some of these shows. You're like, I just watched absolutely nothing. And it's so frustrating. Because like I said, this whole episode can be summed up as Olivia wants to be nursed back to health. She's hard-headed. 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐽𝐸 sees some good in her, sees herself in her, refuses to let her go, and just, you know, like, she's a stranger. She should be treated as a stranger. Like, I get it, you know, you care for somebody, but it's like, I'm not gonna go put my life on the line for a stranger. She does it anyways. Her party goes, yeah, and they rally behind her. They go into a dungeon where they fall into a trap that's set for, you know, the little, I don't know, femboy kid that Alec met last episode. He gives him like some orb to teleport himself, and they fall into a trap knowingly. And then they're going to fight a bunch of monsters, and they're going to end up fighting this S-rank killer party people, whatever, with some guy who's like, I kill people too. Not for fun, but to become stronger. And you're like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And that's where I struggle with these shows is you have 12 weeks, right? And really, I think you have a third of that. I think you have 4 weeks to really make me care about whatever you're trying to tell me. That's where, like, I think shows, for me personally, like Are You Ferretta or Spirit Chronicles or World's Finest Assassin, like, they make you care about the character / characters in 2 to 3 weeks. In 2 to 3 episodes, you can say at least, like, okay, I really like this character, right? In another world, my smartphone. Saga of Tanya the Evil, right? Like you have these shows that, yes, they've only had 11, 12, 13 episode season, but they made you care very quickly. And they did all the right things. Even the budget ones, right? Realist Hero becomes a, Realist Hero rebuilds a kingdom or whatever, right? It ended up getting 2 cores, but the first initial 12, it makes you really care. And that show is a fucking slideshow, right? Like there's no animation that happens in that, but it makes you care. Genius Prince, right? By the 3rd episode, you're like, I can't wait to see what happens. That show's a fucking slideshow. Like, so it's not like a budget thing necessarily. Like these are budget shows, but they make you care. But then when you have these other shows, it's like, this could have very well been this could have been the last episode of the season. All right, that's all I got for you guys. 5 out of 10. I think this episode was awful. I think it was a nothing burger. I think nothing happened. And I think you deleted this episode and we moved on from episode number 6 to number 8. I don't think that we'd be like, oh my God, I missed so much. You constantly feel that way anyways. So yeah, 5 out of 10. Another garbage show. Hopefully it gets better though. It has moments of not garbage. You know what I mean? It has moments that it's like, oh, okay. Just be watchable. Be decent. All right, I'll see you guys next week.